Operator, well, could you help me place this call? Learn to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels.
Hello there, welcome to Inquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen video. And it's New Year's Eve. I want to wish each and every inquiring mind out there a very happy new year in 2024. Please mark your new calendar to join me next Saturday, January 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific time for my third monthly Inquiring Minds live stream podcast.
It's alive!
The topic will be, what are your fountain pen New Year's resolutions? I'll be making a big announcement about my channel as well. But to the topic at hand. I've had a mind to do a video on the design of fountain pen ink bottles for a while. It might seem like a minor consideration when you're really more interested in the contents of the ink bottle rather than its shape. But all you have to do is knock a bottle of Ferris Wheel Press or Robert Oster ink over, and you will not look fondly on purchasing that particular brand again.
Spilled milk all over the floor.
And the reverse of that is true too. You might not like the ink inside the bottle, but just displaying the bottle on your desktop brings you more joy than the ink. So it was the best of bottles and it was the worst of bottles. Let's take a look at the good, the bad, and the just plain stupid right now. I'll run down my list of what I consider to be the best and the worst in ink bottle design, from good to best, and from poor to horribly stupid. The good news is that the best designs outnumber the worst designs by 7 to 5. So here are the 7 best designs from number 7 to number 1. Number 7. The best designs merge form and function, so the bottle is not only attractive, but functional as well. The Diamine 50 milliliter glass bottle from the INKVENT collection has these really cool pulled glass feet, as well as a very wide mouth opening that accommodates thick-sectioned fountain pens, the pens that I like. I've got 2 of the INKVENT colors in Jack Frost and Happy Holidays. They're lovely, shimmering inks. Number 6, the Waterman 50 milliliter ink bottle. Waterman has had this design for many years, as you can see from this antique bottle of Waterman's ink from 1961. There's a date code in there that says November 1961. So Waterman has refined the shape of the side a little bit over the years instead of the flat side here, but the bottle's function remains in that you can tilt the bottle on its side like that and have it stable so that you can get at the last bits of ink through the very, very wide opening at the top of the bottle. Excellent. And number 5, the LAMY 50 milliliter ink bottle. LAMY's colors are fairly basic, although I find the LAMY turquoise is the best match for one of my favorite old ink colors, the SHEAFFER peacock blue, which you can't get anymore. The LAMY 50 milliliter bottle is a clever design with a very wide neck, a shallow glass reservoir, and a plastic pedestal on the bottom that incorporates a spool of blotting paper, as well as housing the deep divot in the center of the reservoir. This allows the nib to sink down very, very deep to get the last dregs of ink out of this bottle. A very clever design indeed. And number 4, the SHEAFFER 30 milliliter ink bottle. This is a modern version of the SHEAFFER script ink bottle I remember from when I was in grade school. At the time, I remember thinking that the little glass inkwell inside the inkwell was a very clever design. By forming a small glass pocket on the inside of the ink bottle, when the bottle is low on ink, you simply turn the bottle upside down, and when you open it back up again, the ink settles in the higher pocket, allowing you to get at the last of the ink. A vintage idea that holds up well today. And number 3, the AKKERMAN 60 milliliter ink bottle. I only have this one AKKERMAN ink bottle, but it's totally unique and very, very clever. It has a large reservoir and a long skinny neck. Inside the neck, there's a plastic ball that settles inside the neck, blocking the ink to the lower reservoir. When you turn the bottle upside down, that little ball travels to the top of the neck, and when you turn it right side up, the ball drops down into the neck and traps all that ink up here. As you can see, it's not traveling down. Then you just open up the bottle and you have a large section to dip your pen into to get all of the ink out. Marvelous design. And number 2, the Montblanc 50 milliliter ink bottle. I wish I liked Montblanc inks better because the Montblanc shoe ink bottle is really clever and attractive. The 50 milliliter bottle has an angled neck with a wide opening. The shoe shape allows ink to accumulate in the forward chamber, so you can tilt the bottle up, gather up the last drops of ink with a comfortable angle in the smaller ink chamber. And the big white snow cap on the large black plastic cap is also an attractive feature that allows you to pretend you have a Montblanc pen because you have the ink bottle on your desk. No one need know.
Well, isn't that special?
And you can see how the design has evolved over the years. Here's an older one with a domed cap. I do like the newer one better. And number 1, the IROSHIZUKU 50 milliliter ink bottle. This is my favorite ink bottle because not only is it elegantly beautiful, curved, heavy glass, it's practical as well, with the wide neck and the divot at the bottom of the bottle, allowing your pen to go deeper to get the last dregs of IROSHIZUKU ink. It helps that IROSHIZUKU is also my favorite brand of ink. I have a number of the colors, but my favorites are Konpeki, Asagao, and Takisume. The little sash gives it some class, but tends to get in the way. I tend to peel those off and put them inside the box. Now that we've seen the good, let's take a look at the bad and the ugly. From bad to worst, 5 to first. Number 5 worst is the NOODLER'S 3-ounce ink bottle. I won't comment on NOODLER'S naming or labeling practices. The 3-ounce bottle has a wide enough mouth for easy access, but it's tall and is an accident waiting to happen. And your first bottle of NOODLER'S is always memorable because it invariably coincides with your first NOODLER'S ink spill accident as they fill the bottle to the absolute top, and it's almost impossible to open a new bottle of NOODLER'S without making a mess. If you use Bay State Blue, just hot glue the bottle to the table before use. And the number 4 worst, the Diamine 30 milliliter bottle. The Diamine 50 and 80 milliliter glass bottles are very nice and very stable, but the Diamine 30 milliliter plastic bottle is an accident waiting to happen. It's very tall with a very high center of gravity, and it's lightweight plastic. Even using a syringe, you are bound to tip these little weebles over. I designed an Ink Buddy ink stabilizer for this bottle as well. And number 3 worst, the Robert Oster 50 milliliter bottle. If Diamine wants you to have a 30 milliliter incident, then Robert Oster wants you to dump a full 50 milliliters of soda pop blue in your lap, on your cat, or worse, on your wife's kitchen floor.
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
These lightweight plastic bottles are very top heavy. They do have a wider neck than the Diamine 30s, but that just encourages you to stuff a fat pen in the bottle and make a mess. That's why this was the first bottle of ink for which I designed an Ink Buddy bottle stabilizer, just out of sheer self-preservation. And then my son said, "Hey Dad, you should sell these things." So I do. And number 2 worst, the Ferris Wheel 20 milliliter bottle. So here we have one of the best ink makers in the world with the worst designed ink bottles in the world. Ferris Wheel Press, a proudly Canadian company extolling the Canadian virtues of excellence and awkwardness. Their motto should be, "We sell the best inks in the worst bottles. We're Canadian." Sorry. You wouldn't think you would design an ink bottle worse than the Ferris Wheel Press 20 milliliter, but you'd be wrong. Just wait for it.
Well, they were wrong then, weren't they?
They have, and I'll get to number 1 in a moment. Let's look at this little mother first. What is this? Who wants 20 milliliters of ink? The shape is more reminiscent of a cologne bottle where you turn it between your fingers and dab it between your ears. Don't do it with green ink.
Are you sure your circuits are registering correctly? Your ears are green.
If you like the little sphere shape, and I do, then why not make it a little bigger and make it 30 milliliters instead? Of course, they decided to make a big sphere at 85 milliliters instead with a narrow neck. But with a wider neck, you might be able to fit a thicker pen than a quill in that tiny opening. Even if you could slip your Metro in that little 5.7 milliliter hole, kids, please leave the room.
That's all right, carry on.
My apologies.
What's this going to mean for the region?
My apologies. Sorry.
Hey, Ferris Wheel Press, have you ever heard of a guy named Archimedes? If the little ball doesn't keel over and dump shimmering blue ink on your shorts, it will definitely come gushing out as you dunk your pen down through that tiny opening. At least they named this ink appropriately, Tumbling Time Blue. Tumble, little weeble, tumble. And the number one worst ink bottle, the Ferris Wheel Press 38 milliliter bottle. This is the worst bottle ever designed, in my opinion. And yes, I have read the articles extolling the virtues of the award-winning packaging and beautifully designed perfume-like bottles. If you'll excuse my French, I say poppycock.
Absolute poppycock.
Poppycock, poppycock.
That's just plain poppycock.
Poppycock.
Yes, the 38 milliliter bottle is beautiful, but how do you get the ink out and in your pen without knocking this little thing over all the time? I just don't understand the thinking behind this. Let's make a thin, tall, top-heavy bottle with a narrow base and top it with a brass nut cap that adds 18 freaking grams to the top. And that 8.3 milliliter opening is not large enough to accommodate any of my piston fillers. If it were easy to use, Ferris Wheel Press would not have designed and marketed a metal ink bottle stand for these 38 milliliter tippy bottles for $50. Yeah, they're cute, but $50? I assure you folks, I designed and marketed my Ink Buddy stabilizer for the Ferris Wheel Press 38 milliliter bottle long before they made their $50 metal Ferris wheel stand. Mine is only $10. They're 3D printed in PLA, and they're in stock. Don't take my word for it. Let's hear from a happy customer. I've been needing something like this for quite some time, and it does exactly what it's meant to. I've had a couple of accidents with these Ferris Wheel Press bottles, and the Ink Buddy stabilizes the bottle very well. The bottle fits snugly and is finally safe from unfortunate spillage. It was packed well and came quickly from Canada. Thanks so much. And thank you, Mom. If you're like me and you absolutely love Ferris Wheel Press inks, but you hate their disaster of an ink bottle, then pick up an Ink Buddy. I never Ferris wheel without it. Safe inking everyone. And I'm adding a little addendum here. This isn't a poor ink bottle design. These are the tiny little bottles from Diamine's INKVENT calendar. If you like collecting this every year, you'll know that they're a challenge to ink your pen with, of course, because they're so tiny. I don't blame Diamine for that. They have to fit 24 of these in the little cardboard box. But they are difficult to handle because they roll around your desk. So I've designed an Ink Buddy ink stabilizer for these as well. This one's printed in multicolor PLA, and you can see it holds the little Diamine ink bottles very stable so that you can syringe or fill your converter or whatever you do with these tiny little inks. If you're interested in any of the Ink Buddy items, just go to the Etsy store run by my son James, and I have a number of fountain pen related items in that store. I'll provide the link to the Etsy store in the description below. And there you have it. Let me know what your favorite and least favorite ink bottle designs are in the comments below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. You can also join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comments section, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, sneak peek unboxing videos, as well as early access to all of my videos the moment I upload them. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching.
I made this.